People think playing small is about fear. And fear gets all the credit. All the books, all the advice, all the feel the fear and do it anyway. But fear is loud. Fear you can work with. What actually keeps most people stuck is quieter than that. It's a set of unspoken rules about what someone like you gets to have. You didn't choose these rules consciously. You absorbed them. From how things went. From what you watched. From the slow accumulation of what felt normal versus what felt like too much. And now they run automatically. Not as thoughts. As a filter. Here's how the trap works in practice. An opportunity appears. A better role. A price increase. A conversation worth having. You look at it. You consider it. And somewhere in that consideration, before logic has even finished its sentence, something decides. Not for you. Not out of evidence. Out of fit. Does this match who I believe I am? If the answer is yes, you move. If the answer is no, or even a hesitant maybe, you find a reason to wait. Not the right time. Not quite qualified enough. Better to let this one pass. That's not strategy. That's your self-concept, protecting its own edges. Your self-concept is not your personality. It's not your values. It's the quiet internal description of what someone like you does and doesn't do. What you earn. How you're treated. What you attempt. What you walk away from. And it's surprisingly resistant to change. Not because it's strong, but because it's invisible. You don't feel it operating. You feel its results, which look like hesitation, rationalization, a pull toward the safer choice. The trap isn't that you're afraid to want more. The trap is that your self-concept has already categorized more as something for other people. And here's what makes it stick. Every time you act consistently with that internal description, every time you pass on the bigger thing, accept the lower number, stay quiet in the room, you're not just making a choice, you're confirming the rule. The self-concept gets stronger every time you act from it. Which is exactly why the pattern keeps repeating. Let's put this in concrete terms. At work, you have a view worth sharing, but it doesn't feel like your place to push it. Someone else does. They get the credit. You call it politics, but that gap had a different cause. With money, you know you could charge more, price it higher, ask for a better number, but the figure that feels reasonable is always just below what you actually want. Not because of market rates, because it's what someone like you charges. With confidence, you've been in rooms where you belong. Same skills, same experience, but you've held yourself slightly back, contributed less than you had, taken up less space than the moment offered. None of that is fear. That's a self-concept doing exactly what it was built to do. The self-concept is not a fixed truth. It's a working model. And working models can be updated, not through affirmations, not through motivation, through deliberate, repeated action that doesn't match the old description. You don't wait until the self-concept changes. You act in ways that require it to. Here's the 3-step practice. Step 1. Each morning ask yourself, what's one thing I'm likely to pull back from today? Not because it's wrong, but because it doesn't quite feel like something I'm allowed to have. Notice it before it becomes a decision. Step 2. When you catch a pullback moment, a hesitation, a smaller ask, a quieter version of yourself, pause and name it. Say it plainly, this is my self-concept editing my options. You don't have to override it immediately, just see it clearly. Step 3. Choose one small act each day that is slightly outside the current description. Not dramatic, not a leap. A small act that contradicts the rule and confirms a different one. Ask for the number you actually want. Put the idea forward. Stay in the conversation longer than feels comfortable. You're not trying to become someone else. You're testing what the current rules are actually based on, because most of them were never as fixed as they felt. Run this for 7 days, not to transform, to start seeing. There's a problem though. Even when you see the self-concept trap, even when you understand it and start working against it, there's a second layer. Because there's a part of you that doesn't just limit what you attempt, it limits what you allow yourself to expect. And until expectation changes, new behavior tends to slide back to old results. That's episode 5.